Now, how do bees tell each other where to find the pollen? Well, it turns out that they've got a language so precise that they can pinpoint a field up to 4 kilometres away. And Ellie's been to meet a man who's learning the language of the hive.
Bees are our most important pollinating insects. 75% of the world's staple crops rely on pollination by bees. So what's happening about now? What sort of behaviours are we seeing here?
Well, all kinds of behaviours. For example, we have some bees here which are cleaning cells.
Oh, yes.
We have 2 bees here which have just been exchanging nectar. Wow. But what we're particularly interested in is the waggle dance, or the dancing behaviour, and we've got some of that going on too, because it's a lovely day today and the bees are foraging.
The waggle dance is the bees' unique way of communicating to each other where they can find the best source of pollen and nectar that they need to make honey.
The amount of time that she spends waggling her body gives the distance, right, and the angle of her body as she does that gives a direction. So that bee is pointing with her head more or less down in this direction here.
Yes, okay, I can see that.
And that means that the food are this angle from the sun. So it's really in the opposite direction to the sun.
It's pretty much straight up.
Straight up.
Pretty much in the direction of the sun, is that right?
A little bit to the left of vertical.
A little bit to the left, so sort of 10 degrees, say?
Yeah, and roughly how many seconds is it waggling its body for before it breaks off?
About 2?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 seconds. So that's just done very roughly, but we can already tell that the bee is telling the other bees in the direction of the sun, actually a bit to the left of the sun, because the bee is dancing a bit left of vertical.
Yeah.
And roughly 1 or 1.5 kilometres.
And this is something you can actually plot on a map over here, isn't it?
We can plot it on a map, and we can go and look for it as well if we want. So if we go to the map,
yes,
let's just see over here. This is the university marked with an X. Now if we put the protractor on there and get it lined up so that the 0 is pointing north, we know that at this time of day the sun is at a position of 166 degrees.
Okay.
And the bee was dancing a little bit to the left of vertical, which means that we have to go a little bit left of the sun. So this is the angle, roughly 146 degrees, that is to the southeast.
The bees have led us to what seems to be an ideal spot to find pollen.
So this is a field that a farmer grazes his animals in, and yet it's also a field which is good for nature, and you know, lots of flowers, lots of insects. So this is a good example of where farming and wildlife are kind of coexisting quite happily.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the waggle dance was right.
Well, the waggle dance took us to this field and we found bees foraging, so there you go.